Making stuff is hard,
especially in the entertainment world,
where big egos, bigger budgets,
and just plain bad luck
can make things go horribly wrong.
And we're going behind the scenes of these disastrous,
never-ending,
and often dangerous productions
to find out why
it was a shit show. Hello, friends. This is It Was a Shit Show. I am joined by Clint.
Hello.
And Ray.
Hello.
All right, that's your video. That's her other video game character.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm Ian. With the release of the Minecraft movie and season 2 of The Last of Us debuting sometime when this comes out in April time, it's time to return to the video game adaptation which we loved so much last time. So, very specifically, the Last of Us games were made by Naughty Dog, creators of Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, and the critically acclaimed series of today's episode. So, today, let's talk Uncharted.
They're constantly asking me and Evan to make the Uncharted movie.
For like 4 years now, they've been just like making an Uncharted movie for us.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Non-stop.
To write it.
Non-stop.
They've been asking us to write it for years.
Okay. Clint, have you played the games?
Yes, I've played Uncharted and Uncharted 2 at least. Maybe Uncharted 3? Maybe? Yeah, I like them. I like them.
Okay.
There was a time where I was like wearing Henley shirts, and I was like, maybe I'll get like his shoulder holster and like cosplay. But then I started losing hair, gaining weight, and like self-esteem, and I was like, I can't pull this off. So I just stopped.
But you're a snack though, from what I hear.
I am a snack.
From what I hear on the YouTube comments.
That was so funny and so very sweet. Thank you. I have never been called a snack before.
Not even by his own wife.
Yeah, no. Just so everyone knows it out there. Apparently, I am a snack. Allegedly.
Got it.
We'll put up. Now we need to put up a little lower third that's like Clint, alleged snack.
Alleged snack.
Right.
So, but you've played them, so you've kind of have an idea of what they are. I played all 4 of them. There are a bunch of random spin-offs, but we'll actually go into the games as we discuss this.
I was sometimes in the room when you played them, but this was not one of the series that I watched like a TV show or a movie. Because when Ian plays games, I just sit and watch like I'm watching a TV show.
Right.
And then also just like chirp from the bench and like chide him on his video game playing skills. But this one was one that I was more like in and out of.
Yeah, I don't remember you hanging out that much for any of these.
Nope.
Okay, so Clint's Closet.
Yeah. It's no surprise that what I am bringing is Spider-Man related.
Right. Why? Because Sony?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland,
Oh,
yeah.
Tom Holland.
They are
Oh my
my
God.
Spider-Man goggles.
Ooh.
Ready for this?
What the hell?
Yeah. And then I can change them
Those are cool.
like to like have different expressions.
Like he's skeptical.
The one that I
and
like to
then
do
he's
is just
angry.
Yeah. The one that I like to do is just him like blinking, just so I feel like a little more animated.
Does it?
Is that supposed to be
blinking, or is it
blinking?
blinking when you blink?
It's blinking on its own. It's
I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a little
that's
button here that I can put so I can switch through. That I think there's like a blue. Yeah. And then like there's some like heart eyes in there too. Some of them are just like glitchy, and that's all it is. Like, why are there 7 variations of just glitchy?
Recently knocked out.
Yeah. Then,
That's currently being knocked out.
yeah.
This is just how you're going to do the podcast now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Just, like,
this is the rest of the day.
slowly blinking.
So, Tom Holland.
Okay. All right. So, for those who have not played the games, they follow treasure hunters Nathan Drake, a possible descendant of Sir Francis Drake, and his surrogate father mentor, is Victor Sully Sullivan, gallivanting around the world looking to get rich off of ancient treasures and finding lost cities. They are often accompanied by reporter Elena Fisher, Drake's main love interest, or competing with fellow treasure hunter Chloe Fraser, who was in the movie. Mm-hmm. That's Drake's other love interest. And each game ends with a supernatural element of some kind. Think Indiana Jones, with more gunplay and explosions. Okay, so Uncharted, Drake's Fortune, released in 2007 as a PlayStation 3 exclusive about Drake searching for El Dorado. Developed by Naughty Dog and created and directed by Amy Hennig, the game was meant to be a big, bombastic, Hollywood-style action game, and with like Indiana Jones, like tomb raiding thrown in. While Uncharted has become one of like the biggest video game franchises, the first game is like it sold well and it reviewed well, but nobody really like fondly remembers it unless you like grew up on it.
Yeah.
It's like it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a fine game. I played it and I remember almost nothing about it. It's,
Yeah.
like it just kind of washes over you.
It's just like the first in the series.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you look at movies and video games, because we're going to talk about all the other ones, but like how video games, like sequels, are always better. They always tend to be better because they fix all the problems from the first one and then they just make it better. But then like movies, if they do the same thing, it's like
It's usually worse.
yeah, right.
That is interesting. Yeah, because it's like video game creators learn from their mistakes on the first one.
Yeah.
Whereas like it feels like movie sequels are just callous cash grabs.
Yeah,
They're just
exactly.
like,
Do the same thing.
hurry, make
again.
another one. Do the
Yeah.
exact same
Yeah.
thing, but like make it slightly different, and we'll make a
Yeah.
boatload.
So remember how there was a Death Star? What if it was a planet?
What if it was a
Yeah,
death
just
planet?
bigger.
Yeah.
You're like,
Instead of destroying one planet at a time, several.
that definitely
is-
seems like an escalation.
Yeah.
Slap a 2 on that, and you got a movie.
Instead of a giant green laser, several red ones.
Several red ones. Okay, so 1 year after the release of the first game, producer Avi Arad, who did almost all of Marvel movies before the MCU, but then he did help work on Iron Man, revealed he was working on adapting multiple video games into movies: Lost Planet, EverQuest, Mass Effect, and Uncharted.
Oh my god,
Only
Mass Effect.
one of those has happened, obviously.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mass Effect. Ian, you love Mass Effect.
Oh, I fucking love Mass Effect, but
Yeah.
it's been they've not been able to crack that because it needs to be a TV show. It should not be a movie.
You heard it here first, people. TV show.
Yes, and let me write it. Okay, because Uncharted is a Sony-owned property, it could only be made by them, so it has to be in-house. Okay, Sony first tried to hire Kyle Ward to write the film, who at this point had no produced films. Like, he had nothing out yet. And he was busy writing an adaptation of Kane and Lynch, which is a video game nobody remembers.
Yeah.
And as well as a Hitman 2, so a sequel to Hitman with Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how he became the go-to writer for video game adaptations, but he was being offered a third, and Sony was like, "No, we need to make this right now."
Well, I
And-
like video games.
yeah, like, but did they just find him in a chat?
They just went to their local arcade and just saw somebody who's just like playing like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
You,
Hey, do you like to write?
video game guy.
Yeah, I like.
Have you heard of Uncharted?
Yeah, I played it today,
Yeah.
and then I came here.
So Sony wanted to fast track this, and he was like, "It's going to be about a year before I get around to it." And they were like, "Nah, we'll move on." Then came the writing duo Thomas Dean Donnelly and Joshua Oppenheimer, who wrote the Matthew McConaughey starring treasure hunting film
Oh, that one.
Oh, God.
Sahara?
Sahara.
Sahara.
Where did you pull that out?
Clint's closet.
Way back there. There's a big Sahara poster and all his McConaughey merch.
McConaughey.
I've
never seen it. I've never seen it.
I've seen it. It's okay. So Sony also recruits producer Charles Roven. He is kind of like an Uber producer. Like, he's done so many different things, but from like 12 Monkeys to like the Dark Knight trilogy.
Okay.
So he's a big producer attached to this. In 2009, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves released, also on PS3, about Drake searching for the mythical Tibetan kingdom of Shambhala. This game is widely considered one of the greatest video games ever made. On like IGN's most recent top 100 games, it was like 40th, 9th or something like that. So people really like this game. I remember it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I played them all back to back. So this doubled Sony's resolve that this franchise needed to be a movie.
It's number 49 on the list.
Yeah.
We had a minor bit of success. We need to milk this cash cow for everything that it's worth.
Suck the marrow right out of the
Right
bone
out
on
of
that
bones.
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in 2010, Sony liked the Donnelly and Oppenheimer script and courted the most unlikely of directors, David O. Russell.
Oh my
He
God.
made
But why though?
Flirting with Disaster, Three Kings, I Heart Huckabees, and was currently finishing The Fighter. So a very serious drama guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Some
a
kind of
humor.
smaller
character movies.
Yeah, indies.
Indies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Who at Sony was like, we need to make a big, giant, explosive Hollywood movie. You know who we ought to get? David O. Russell.
Yeah.
Maybe they heard about his explosive
Arguments on set. Yeah. I know.
temperament.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do want to do a whole episode on just him, but we don't have time for that
Love
today.
it.
But yeah, like when this news broke, people were like, okay, that's a bit weird.
Head scratcher.
But like, I guess nowadays, like Marvel does that. They hire a bunch of indie people to do all their movies nowadays.
Right, like when they were trying to get Edgar Wright to do Ant-Man.
No, I'm saying like even what's her name, Chloe Zhao, who did Eternals, stuff like that. Like they still do that. They get very indie people to do their big movies.
They're like, we want people with unique perspectives, and then we want them to conform.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Yeah. So, what do three of those movies have in common? Three Kings, I Heart Huckabees, The Fighter.
It's an actor though?
It is an actor. Mark Wahlberg.
Wahlberg.
Marky Mark.
Oh, Wally.
Okay. I don't know why we have to talk about Mark Wahlberg so often on this
Just
podcast.
constantly.
But we do.
Just constant.
But yes, so he's in three of them. And Russell was approached about the film earlier, but he decided he wanted to make Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. He got into creative differences on that film, came back to Sony, really wanting to make an action adventure. So he was kind of pushing for this.
Okay.
And but with his signing, when he signed on, he also wanted to rewrite the script entirely. He wanted to start over. Nathan Drake is famously voiced by
Nolan North.
Nolan
North, who fun fact is, Never Believe fans really wanted this movie. He's like, you have the games.
Like what?
Do you need?
When your game is basically, like I said, when I watch you play, it's like I'm watching a movie. Like this is my whole, we don't need to get into this, but this is my whole issue with The Last of Us, where I'm just like, why is this TV show? Why does it exist? The fucking game is a TV show.
Yeah, part of me feels the same way too about the in perpetual production hell Metal Gear movie.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I love the Metal Gear franchise, and I will watch like walkthroughs or playthroughs just like on YouTube, just like you, like just some rando playing. Like I'll just watch this like a TV show, and like there's a part of me that's like, I want to see them do this in live action, but then I also like, but I don't because I have it right here.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Yeah.
But you kind of, I
kinda
get
do.
it. I'm the same way.
Are we-
You want to see it, but then you also don't.
Yeah.
So Nolan North's version of the character is like a quippier Harrison Ford. If again you've never played it, he's just kind of a trash talker.
Yeah.
And but he's also just stumbling his way into a lot of these.
Oh,
things, and-
it's Stumble In Fortune, the video game. is
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. It's
Ass backwards into cash, the video game.
yeah. He
Pass
like
backwards into cash.
in every game he is just falling into scenarios and just being a scrappy guy to get out of it. He's not like complete like focused like killer or anything.
Yeah.
He's just making it up, but as he goes along, very Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it's funny you say
Right.
that because the only images that are coming into my mind as I'm thinking about how I played the video game are just images because it's a third person game, and it's just him just like stumbling, like just like tripping over
Yeah, and
stuff
he's
like that.
just like,
That's just what I'm seeing as I'm picturing the gameplay. It's like him just
yeah, exactly. So there is a very particular actor who looks just like Nathan Drake that has the same heroic, wisecracking nature and shares the same name,
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion.
Mm.
So
Okay.
soon as the movie was announced, everybody was like, well, Nathan Fillion's got to play it.
Yeah.
Like, it he looks just like him.
Yeah.
He's the same kind of style.
He
Would
can-
be perfect.
Yeah, he can do that kind of sarcastic, like
Yeah.
line delivery.
Yeah. And especially when this came out, like, he was, pretty fit. And I feel bad because Nathan Fillion didn't really get that shot to become like this big star, because he could have been like the next Harrison Ford. But anyway, with the news of Russell's hiring, Fillion tweeted, "If there ever was a Twitter campaign, let this be it," because he wanted the role too.
Yeah. And it was coming out right around the same time, like all when they were talking about this, it was like Nathan Fillion was like prime, like he looked just like him. He was the right age, the right fit.
Yeah.
Like it was just
It was like no brainer.
yeah, as the stars were aligning for everybody.
Yeah. So later that year, Russell is doing press rounds for The Fighter with Mark Wahlberg, right? And is asked about his Uncharted script. Jenny Ray?
Oh, it's because of my explosive temper. Is that why? Is that why?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Calm down.
Oh god,
All right.
I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
Just like reach over and give you a purple nurple or something.
So
All
this
right.
is David O. Russell about what his take on the script will be.
I think if we take that family dynamic that we have in The Fighter and put that in terms of a grander stage, with a crime family that metes out justice in the world of art and antiquities, if you're the head of a museum or head of state, you've got to deal with them, and they're badass. Like they're the Sopranos in some ways, but they have great taste and they have a sense of justice.
I don't understand this.
Yeah,
I don't
someone
even
who-
know. That's not even like the plot.
No.
That's not even close to the plot.
No, it's like it's a family dynamic. I mean, they're kind of. I wouldn't really say they're family. Like he is kind of Sully and Drake is kind of like the whole point, and it's more like a good business partnership, and
Right.
it's not so much of a fatherly thing. So
It's
I
more
don't
like
understand.
it's more like your like fucked up uncle who likes, you're just like, oh, I shouldn't look up to this guy, but
Yeah.
I kind of have to
And
because I have no father figure in
Yeah,
my life.
yeah. It doesn't make any sense. I don't. When this came out, when he said that, people were like, I don't know if he knows what he's doing here, but it just gets worse.
we're talking about Uncharted.
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
And
exactly.
he's like, yes.
Yes,
What were you talking about?
Uncharted.
Okay, so we're both talking about Uncharted. Just want to make that clear.
IGN asks him why like this particular video game franchise over any other, and he says because it's about family. Again, I don't know what the fuck he's on about.
I thought
this.
you were gonna say he went, it's a video game?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh God, we've made a terrible mistake.
I mean, was he thinking about maybe that they were saying that he's going to be doing the next Fast and Furious movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's with his love of family, that would be a
Yeah.
perfect fit.
Yeah.
Did he confuse Mark Wahlberg for like Paul Walker?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like Paul Wahlberg and Mark
Yeah,
Walker,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Those two actors? Yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, Mark's like, I've worked with you like 3 times now.
He's just like,
Mark's like, he's like, how did David O. Russell get like this?
Jenny Ray was quoting that the whole time.
Yeah,
Just from
the
Planet
whole
of the
time
Apes.
we
That's
were
right.
the whole time we were watching Uncharted.
How the hell did these monkeys get like this?
How did these bad guys get like this?
how do these pirate ships get like this?
So, speaking of Wahlberg, Wahlberg basically admits that he's already been cast as
Sully? No, Drake?
As Drake.
Nathan Drake.
Ew, gross.
Oh yeah,
And-
I remember that.
Yes.
Ugh. Made me feel weird when I remember. I was like, "What?" All right.
Okay. This is what this is how it kind of came out, and this is what Mark Wahlberg said about being in this Uncharted movie. Keep in mind, we know nothing other than David O. Russell says it's about family.
Okay. I'm obviously in whatever David wants to do, but the idea of it is so off the charts. Robert De Niro being my father, Joe Pesci being my uncle. It's not going to be the watered down version, that's for sure.
Okay.
What is he talking about?
What are they both even talking about?
Does he think this is like a follow up to like Goodfellas?
Yeah.
I know. I know. When this happened, people were just like, Okay, what the fuck are you doing?
Did somebody just like give David O. Russell a basic rundown of the plot of just like it's two guys?
Two guys.
They're
Okay, cool. Got it.
they're-
Thanks. I'll
they're-
go. No. I got it.
Two guys sold, and then he's like, but they're antiquities. Antiquities sold.
Okay.
All right, I got it. I'm writing you a crime family drama.
Like, okay, Nathan Drake's father and uncle are not,
Not
in the
in the
games.
game.
Like, not even mentioned.
Not
It doesn't
nothing.
even like
Yeah.
if he even has an uncle. We
Right.
don't know. And
Right.
he in the third game you find out that Drake is an orphan, and then like the fourth one that they talk about his mother and that they adopted the name Drake themselves. So that same month, a fan approaches Russell after screening of The Fighter, saying he should
And just says, "What the fuck?"
kind of. And he goes, he should really consider Nathan Fillion. This awkward exchange is all on video.
I'm so sorry to literally. She walked because he looks like that guy? No, he acts exactly. Because I played every Uncharted. He acts exactly like that dude. That's what I was little subtlety. If you look online, there's thousands of people. I should thank you. This is my son. Seriously, dude. There's thousands of people.
Russell's totally confused, seems unaware of who Nathan Fillion is, and his agent standing right there, and she's like, I sent you his audition tape. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he just kind of shuts down the fan, and he's like, okay, buddy, like, you spoke for your guy. And then the fan's like, thousands of us want this. Like,
Jesus.
it's just this... It's just an awkward thing, not the best tactic to do this.
Yeah.
And even Nathan Fillion was kind of like, ooh, like, I don't appreciate this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
You mean
is-
you're not supposed to accost a film director after a screening and just like shout actor names at them? That's
Hey,
not
thanks for coming to see the
best
fighter.
way.
Yeah, I think. Oh, thanks. I appreciate
Nathan
that.
Fillion! We want Nathan Fillion!
What is that? What's that? Oh, we sent Nathan Fillion's audition tape to you. Oh, hey, yeah, thank you. This movie's about family.
Clint, you're being a Nathan Fillion talking about what went down with that.
That's when I go, wait a second, let's not burn any bridges. If somebody came to me and said, how come you get to be in another Joss Whedon production? Shouldn't it be this other guy? I'd say, hey man, me and Joss are buddies. This is what we like to do with our time. Why you got to come down on me? So you know what? If you see David O. Russell, maybe say, hey, Nathan would love to work with you one day. Maybe say that.
Okay, so by May of 2011, Sony truly questions Russell's heist family idea. And Russell departs, citing
Creative
differences, choosing to make Silver Linings Playbook instead.
I really hope that the working title of that movie was Heist Family. Because that would be incredible.
It's all about family.
It's all
and
about
money.
family. Gotta keep it
Heist
in the
and
family.
families. Also, Wahlberg left with him.
Okay.
Which, okay, we'll get back to it.
But did he?
Yeah, okay, I know. In July, The Illusionist and Limitless director Neil Berger signs on, saying he's starting over on the script to make it closer to the games. He lasts a year, going on to make the first Divergent film. In November of 2011, Naughty Dog released Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception, about Drake and Sully searching for Aram of the Pillars, a lost city mentioned in the Quran. This game is widely beloved, but many think it was a step down from 2, that it's not as good as that one. I disagree. I think 3 is better.
They all blend for me.
I know, they kind of do.
Yeah.
Just lots of just murder
And then stumbling.
and stumbling.
Yeah.
Okay, in August of 2012, Sony hires screenwriting husband and wife team Marianne and Cormac Wimberly. They wrote both National Treasure films.
Oh, okay.
Seems like a good fit.
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
In 2013, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg revealed that Sony had been like hounding them for years, like the last 4 years, to make Uncharted. But they were like, didn't have any interest in it because they were like, it would just be Indiana Jones again, and we don't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
But so they kept saying no. In 2014, Horrible Bosses and Identity Theft director Seth Gordon became attached. And then Safe House writer David Guggenheim. Okay, we know quite a bit about this project through 2014 because of the Sony hacks. In the emails, Sony, in between like all the producers and stuff like this, we learned that Sony was focused on making sure the film wasn't as silly as the National Treasure films
Okay.
because those were too dumb.
With Nick Cage? No.
No. That they offered the role to Chris Pratt,
Okay.
who said no.
Good.
Tried to get Chris Hemsworth, but their backup ideas were Channing Tatum and
Nathan
Fillion.
Fillion?
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh.
I don't know why.
They're look, listen, their movies are fun and they're like Chris Hemsworth is a funny dude. I like watching his movies, but they're all just so generic, muscly white boy
Yeah.
Yep.
with the face, just like
Yeah.
the generic face.
That's why like Nathan Fillion would have been different.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because like he has the same qualities as Harrison Ford is, because Harrison Ford is just kind of a rugged looking guy.
Yeah.
Right.
He's not a pretty boy.
Right.
So Mark Wahlberg comes back and he wanted Drake to be more of Bourne than Indy. And he wanted to be less a buddy comedy between Drake and Sully, which is a fucking series. Like, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
And more focused on Drake, his character, because this is Mark Wahlberg we're talking about. And then the secondary plot be the love story with Elena.
You mean Mark Wahlberg, the serious character actor,
Yeah,
Mark
I know,
Wahlberg?
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How did it get like this?
How did the script get like
How did the script get like this? How did my character get like this?
Guggenheim's full script also leaked to middling reviews. People are like, meh. Okay, at the end of the year, Sony hired Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30 writer Mark Bull to do a 3-week script polish on it. But then Seth Gordon dropped out in 2015 to make the Baywatch movie. So good.
Hey.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, look, I have priorities, and my priorities are boobs.
Boobs.
Yeah.
And beaches.
And beaches. Boobs, bugs, and beaches, baby.
Then, okay, so in 2016, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, released on PlayStation 4, meant as the ending of the series, where Drake and his brother, Sam, his brother is never mentioned in the previous 3 games.
What?
Not at all.
Not ever?
No.
I was wondering about that because I'm watching the movie and I'm like, I don't remember him having a brother.
No,
I would have
exactly.
assumed.
It never comes up.
I would have assumed based on the plot of the movie that like he's going on these adventures and doing all this stuff, and that there's like little snippets of his brother thrown in there that like
No.
he's also searching for his brother.
No, it's like the 4th one completely like retcons it. And it's just
Weird.
like, oh, by the way,
He's got a brother.
He's got a brother. But yeah, it's fucking just like, do you think this would have come up? Because he also deals a lot with Sully. So you think Sully would bring it up? It's just like this nonsense thing.
Yeah.
Because Nolan North is the voice of, at that time, he was the biggest voice actor in video games.
Yeah.
So who should be his brother?
His actual brother?
Other big voice actor, big video game voice actor.
What's his name? He did the Joker, didn't he?
He did a Joker. Troy Baker.
Baker.
Oh my god. Okay.
Who is like now the biggest voice actor
Yeah.
on the
Yeah,
planet.
yeah.
And they're looking for the lost treasure of pirate Henry Avery. So that's where a lot of the movie kind of pulls a lot of that kind of more from it, because it's about finding a pirate treasure and about his brother was like obsessed about it when he was a kid.
So the movie actually is pulling more of its plot from the 4th game.
Correct.
So they're
Yes.
just going to go backwards.
The more widely panned.
Well,
game.
okay. So this game was a shit show. And that's what this in the book here kind of discusses, with Amy Hennig leaving Naughty Dog within like she was there for like 9 months working on the game. And then Neil Druckmann took over and he started from scratch. And
Neil Druckmann is The Last of Us.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And he forced a lot of crunch on his team,
Yeah.
and he defends doing crunch, which is, if you've never heard that term, it's basically that you're working 18-hour, 20-hour days at the studio
to hit a deadline. But yeah, part of like, so that book, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels by Jason Schreier, who's like, if you haven't read any of his stuff, he's a really good game journalist and just writes a lot about like just all of this kind of inside stories of the games industry.
Yeah. And like that 4 is like, has really good reviews. People really liked it. It got Game of the Year awards. I don't like it at all. I think it's super boring. It's so overwritten, and eventually you just kind of get sick of the whole gameplay of Uncharted is just hanging on a wall, and you're just pushing a direction and pushing A until it works. Like, that's not gameplay. That just gets gets boring.
Move, Drake.
Yeah, and
A.
I thought I could jump to that, and now I fell to my death. Now you have to redo it. Anyway, okay. So now that we have all the four games out of the way, later that year, 3-time Night at the Museum director Sean Levy signs on.
Ooh, okay.
Along with writer Joe Carnahan, who did Smoking Aces, The A-Team, and The Gray, aka
Wolf
Wolf
Punch.
Punch.
Fucking Wolf Punch.
The A-Team is a very, like, that's the way he did A-Team is very how much Uncharted should have been. Just big, bombastic action that is just crazy scenarios. So it, like, having him totally makes sense. Jenny Ray, you're going to be a Joe Carnahan. This is about his version of the script.
What I've written is very anti-indie in the sense of the guy that loves museums and wants to preserve these artifacts. Drake is not. He's a thief and he's a grifter and he's a scourge. He and Sully are not good guys, but they're better than the bad guys.
He gets it.
Yeah.
He gets it.
Yeah.
That makes
None of this antiquities. You have to deal with this crime family. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So Carnahan mentioned how it's too early to discuss casting as the script isn't done, but in his mind, it should be Nolan North who plays Drake.
I thought about that too, and I was like,
Nolan North kind of looks like
Yeah.
Nathan Drake too. He was just too old to do it. Like a studio would never do that.
Does Nolan North do any non-voice acting? Like, is he an actor?
A little bit. I think I've seen him in things.
He shows up in random
Yeah.
things.
I mean, he's good enough for a cameo, though.
Yeah.
That's
What the hell happened to you two?
Fell out of a car that fell out of a plane?
Hey, something like that happened to me once.
So, in 2017, Carnahan finishes his script, but then Tom Holland was cast as Nathan Drake. Cue everybody going, huh?
Him?
that fucker. I love him, but he must have like a Dorian Gray portrait hanging somewhere in his house because he's not aging. He's like 30 something now, but he's not.
He's gonna be a teenager forever.
Yeah.
With the body of an adult man and the face of a teenage boy.
Yeah. I like Tom Holland. I think he's great. But yeah, when I heard that casting news, everyone, just like you, like everyone was like, huh?
Yeah, same. It's just like it was just kind of a weird. We'll go into worth it later, but he's okay as Nathan Drake. I don't know if he was. I don't think he was the perfect casting by any means, but after finishing Spider-Man: Homecoming, Holland met with Sony Pictures chief Tom Rothman, and he asked Holland what other projects he'd be interested in, and like he's like, oh, and he's kind of thinking of the other things that he'd want to do, and then Rothman suggested that he play a young Nathan Drake. So it was just the studio head that was just talking. He was like, what about that? And then he was like, of course he is a big gamer, and so he loved the idea.
Yeah.
And so Holland spoke to Levy about an origin story instead, and the production flipped on its head on that kind of going around on that idea. And of course, Uncharted 4 has the origins, and so they kind of would follow that, and just kind of follow that line, maybe fill in the gaps in between. Doesn't really turn into that because like the movie is kind of a completely different thing. So because of this new idea, they need a new writer. So in comes Chuck and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. writer Rafe Judkins to rewrite the script.
Rafe Judkins? What a name.
Rafe Judkins.
Are you sure it's not Ralph? feels like a Judkins would be more
Ralph Judkins.
Ralph Judkins.
I was
at
gonna say,
your
like, yeah,
service.
Rafe is cool, and then Judkins is just kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
I knew a Judkins in high school.
He's like, hello, I'm Rafe Judkins. My mother was from Tennessee and my father was British.
yeah. He has to say the name like differently with their. Hello, my name is Rafe Judkins.
Judkins.
Okay, don't look. Don't look. Shield your eyes. Okay, July 16th, 2018. Don't look. Okay, now you can look.
Oh my God.
Okay. This suddenly appears.
Oh.
Okay. That's his ring.
So this just appeared on YouTube.
Lo agarramos yendo la frontera.
Did you get it?
No.
Who's that?
This is all he had
Compass.
on him.
Okay, I remember that.
Okay. I'm scared for this reveal. I'm so scared.
It's gonna be Steve Buscemi.
Oh God. Oh. Nathan Fillion?
Nathan Drake.
The Uncharted live action fan film.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Wait. Who's
There's-
Sully?
Have you not seen this?
I haven't seen this.
Really?
This is.
Huh? I did not know this existed.
So, we're gonna break this open. I feel like we're always breaking things open.
How about I hang on to that?
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I know.
This is like shockingly well produced for a fan film. Like what did they GoFundMe crowdfunds for the budget?
This is straight out of the video games. This kind of camera shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
you
like going
just-
from a cut scene to like behind him.
Yep, and then you go to your third person view to go shoot down some bad guys. Very video gamey.
Yeah.
So this is one of those things where it's really hard because there have been a lot of times where there's been a toxic fandom for things like this, where fans get mad about like how a certain movie was made because they had pictured it differently in their minds, and we've talked about this before, right? Where fans are just like, female Ghostbusters, meh, 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 meh," or they're like, this person was cast as this, that's not what I wanted, and then they act like entitled little like a-holes.
Yeah,
basically.
and then that's the hill that they die on
Yeah.
for the rest of their lives. And you're like, people are actually suffering in this world.
Right. And so there's like that side of fandom, which can like be over the top and like stupid and very toxic. But then sometimes you're like, yeah, the fans were right. Like Nathan Fillion makes way more sense in this role. It doesn't mean Tom Holland didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
Like it just anyway, well, I know we'll
Yeah.
get into that later, but it's really hard because you're just like, the fans were right
Yeah.
in this instance.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, Mark Wahlberg aside, we don't need to talk about him I'm sure we will, but we don't need to talk about for this conversation. But I feel like with casting Tom Holland and putting in this light of like, this is Nathan Drake's like first adventure outing, like, okay, I can get behind that. Like, sure, that's fine.
Yeah,
But
young
when you're
Nathan, young Sully.
But when you're talking about making an Uncharted film and everybody's like, oh, Uncharted, this is what we know in our minds of what it is right now, is the 4 video games. You want to know who would be perfect for this Drake as he is now in this time era? Nathan Fillion.
Okay, let's go to the details about this fan film. Okay, so this is July 16th, 2018. This was written and directed by Alan Unger. He did Tapped Out and Gridlocked, B movies. Don't worry about it. He had an open schedule for a quick project and decided to make this. And he reached out to Nathan Fillion to see if he was interested. This is Alan Unger about getting this project together.
When I met with Nathan, I said very candidly, look, we don't know each other. I know we just met, but I'm not going to proceed with this if you're not even interested, because there's absolutely no point. It would be futile. It would defeat the entire purpose.
Yeah.
So he's like, if you're going to do a fan film, might as well pick the guy that
all
should
the
be
fans
it.
want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? And as Fillion said, I, like Alan, like other fans, were tired of waiting because we're at 10 years now since the first game came out.
Yeah.
And so that fan film was filmed in 5 days with an unknown budget. They did not say. And it includes Stephen Lang as Sully.
So good.
So, which is really good casting. Like, it needed that kind of gruff kind of guy. The other person I thought would be really good in it would be Tom Selleck. Like,
Yeah.
that kind of type. Like, that would have been, that's who Sully should be.
Hold on. Is Tom Selleck still alive?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to pull another Sean Connery
Yeah.
mishap.
He's in Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods, the show that none of us
I was going to
under
say, I'm
40
like
watch.
the show that I certainly don't watch.
Under 50. Okay, so, and then he just makes this, puts it up, just releases it, and then just, of course, everybody's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And game creator Amy Hennig loved it, and she wrote a very nice, reply on Twitter. And Fillion said it scratched that itch. Okay, at the end of 2018, Sean Levy leaves to make...
He leavies.
He leavies.
He just leavies right on out of there.
This is Sean Levy about leaving Uncharted to make Free Guy.
I think you're often obsessed with servicing the fans of that video game, understandably. We want a movie that will appeal to gamers, but we will have failed if we only appeal to gamers. We really want a broadly accessible movie. With Free Guy, we don't have to bear that burden of swearing fealty to the source material.
Yeah.
Kind of what I was saying.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a really hard line to walk, where if you have a franchise like that is so beloved, it's got 4 games, which are essentially like, movies or like comic book entry, right? It's like the same thing.
Full television show.
It's a whole like world and characters that have been built up over like years and years and years, and people have expectations.
And so, you can't just make something that is just appealing to the fans,
Right.
as he said, because then you'd be like, I don't get half of what's going on here.
Right.
Okay, so in January of 2019, 10 Cloverfield Lane director Dan Trachtenberg came aboard, and he was gone by August.
There's a lot of people coming and going on this movie.
Yes.
It's almost like the Bible verse. It's like in Boaz beget Saradu, and Saradu beget
And-
Millibom,
and
Millibom.
Levy beget Trachtenberg,
Yeah.
who begat this person, who begat Wahlberg.
That's putting a lot of praise on what the final product is.
Yeah, that's true.
This was given to us from God.
Yes, from God.
Okay, somewhere in here, Art Markham and Matt Holloway, they joined, and they did like an early version of Iron Man, and then they also just recently did Transformers: The Last Night. They joined Rafe Junkins for a rewrite of the script.
Rafe Judkins. You guys say his name.
Rafe
Judkins.
Okay, then in September, Kubo and the Two Strings and Bumblebee director Travis Knight signed on, which is Bumblebee is the best Transformers movie. It's really good, actually.
Agreed.
It's actually
Agreed.
pretty decent. But this is also going to be the first film under Sony's new PlayStation Productions. They created a whole company to be like, we are going to start making movies, and we're going to make lots of them. And they got to do Uncharted first because they've been working on it for fucking ever.
Right.
But by December, Knight left as well because Sony moved up the production date so Holland could quickly make Uncharted before making Spider-Man No Way Home. So they moved up the time schedule and said, we got to start here. But so now we're at a Wolfman situation in our on our
Pause.
where the studio has a set filming date, which is March 16th, and they were unwilling to change it, and yet no director. And they're 2 months out. So in January of 2020, Sony hired director Ruben Fleischer. He had been working for Sony for quite some time because he did both Zombielands and he also did Venom, which is another one where he kind of came in late. And so he was given less than 2 months to prepare. At long last, 12 years after being announced, Filming began on March 16th, 2020, and by the end of the first day,
COVID.
COVID shut down.
yes,
What timing?
right?
Jeez. They're like, we finally got our last minute director, Ruben, who always just like, does somebody need a director?
Yeah. Just
then-
kicked out the door. Somebody call for a director.
Surprise, global pandemic.
Yeah.
Yes, production was shut down due to COVID-19. So if you remember, that was started as like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks of quarantining, and then
Yeah.
it became a month, and then months and months, right?
Yep.
So with delays lasting months, this proved to be like a welcome amount of time for Fleischer, who
Oh,
only
yeah.
had 2 months
Yeah.
Right.
to get this ready. And so then he was glad he had that extra time because he could work more on the action scenes because those take up so much time. This is also when Fleischer added a scene that was not originally in the script, which is Drake meeting Antonio Banderas' character at the auction.
At the auction. Yeah.
Okay.
That wasn't even in the original script. So he thought it was weird that like he never meets the villain.
This cross has a very tragic history. 80 men died trying to hold onto it. So much blood, so needlessly spilled.
So this is Ruben Fleischer about making Uncharted finally.
The biggest challenge of making this movie is kind of the elephant in the room, which is the pandemic. We shot this movie at the height of last summer's early days of COVID in Germany. Learning how to make a movie in that environment with masks and a lot of remote aspects to it and daily testing, we had to limit the number of extras and other things in certain scenes. That was the biggest challenge, bar none.
That'd be nuts. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially how many scenes you see with like crowded
Yeah.
crowds.
There's the auction house. There's
The
even
club.
The club. All
Yep.
the fights that involve multiple people.
Yeah.
Having to test people having to wear masks and then take them off when you're shooting.
Yeah, like how much information is being relayed with masks on? Like what?
What? Pardon? What? And then
We meant to cast Nathan Fillion.
What? Who?
Nathan Fillion.
I heard Tom Holland.
I heard
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg.
I heard Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, when Travis Knight joined, that's when it came back to Mark Wahlberg to join.
Okay.
And I think it's because he'd been so attached to it for so long. He was probably a producer on it, and he had probably an option to be like, "Hey, do you want this role?"
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing.
So Wahlberg was attached to this movie long enough that he went from being the main casting choice for Drake to being the main casting choice for Sully.
Yes.
That was how long this movie
how
was
long-
production.
Well,
They're
he's a
"We
good
can't-"
age,
Yeah.
Drake. Now he's a
And
better
now he's
age.
a good age
out
for,
of it.
Yeah. They're like, first he was a good age for Drake, then he was a good age for Sam, and now he's a good age for Sully. He would have, if they'd waited any longer, would have aged himself out of this movie.
Yeah.
Going back to COVID, Antonio Banderas did get COVID, and he had to spend his 60th birthday in quarantine.
Also, holy fucking shit, Antonio Banderas is in his 60s?
I know, right?
Jesus.
There are a handful of deleted scenes that fucking answered a bunch of questions to me. Sully orders a drink from Nate at the bar before he actually appears in the movie. This is in the trailer. And they kind of like have a little back and forth joke, and that's where he's kind of obviously casing Drake. And because when he appears, he's just like, I saw you do that lift. Did you?
Yeah,
Did
you were fully inside, and then
Yeah.
he was outside,
Yeah.
and there was no direct line of sight from what I could tell.
I didn't even know you were in the room.
Yeah, you literally did not exist until this
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even like there was a scene or a slight shot where you could kind of see him like watching or in the background
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. It's like it's so poor setup. Like there's twice in this movie where someone steals something that it just magicked them out. Like they just I just have it now.
That's physically impossible.
So and that is when they meet Chloe and he goes, "Oh, he stole the cross." It's like, when the fuck did that
Oh, I
happen?
thought that was like, does she have, like, she
his
never-
strapped backpack.
She's like,
somehow got into there.
You're Tom Holland and you're Chloe. Like, this is the distance between them.
Yeah.
Like, she just somehow stole it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
What? Yeah,
With his
I don't
back-
trust Sully.
Yeah. With his back against like the rail.
Yeah.
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 And he was, and the backpack was up, so it wasn't even like the backpack was at his feet, and she like did something sneaky down here when they weren't
Swapped the
looking,
What's that?
backpacks.
or swapped the
Yeah,
backpacks.
what are you doing? Nothing.
Yeah. Don't look over here.
So
hey, what's that? Hurries and swaps the backpacks.
Well, okay, so the deleted scene shows how she actually did it before, because they're on their way over there and she bumps into him to steal it. And so she comes from behind and just like bumps him on the shoulder. And so that explains when she stole it, but it's still inside of a strapped backpack. It makes no sense. It wasn't in his back pocket.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Still,
They're
though,
just magicking.
Still, even if you just had that moment where you saw that like he was walking and she was walking and she bumped into him and was like, sorry, and then he didn't really like clock her, and then later they meet, then it's fun. It's a fun moment for you as the viewer because you get to go, oh wait, that was the woman who bumped into him earlier.
Yeah, right.
So that's
had like a moment.
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, and then also, it shows how Sully got into the tomb in Barcelona.
Wake up.
Got you pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense.
After she knocks him out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then
he just shows up down there, and it's like, wait, did he go through all the same shit and go under the water
Yeah,
and go
how
through
did
the
he get
bar and like, and the scene how he gets down there, he just pulls the grate up, but he literally says,
I can't get the grate up.
You know
How
what
did this grate get like this? It's never gonna get old. It's never gonna get old.
I have the same question about this movie that I have about other like treasure hunting movies, and like, there's no way that the city of Barcelona has not done some sort of like archaeological survey of everything around their city. It just
we need to fix this pipe.
Yeah,
and
hey,
then
hey,
he's
you know
like,
what,
what the fuck is this room?
Yeah, this fountain isn't working very well. Let's excavate it and see why this fountain's working. Oh, there's this elaborate series of traps.
Yeah.
That you have to go through every day.
To make sure this fountain is working. Yeah, or even just like, I can't get this grate up. Like, hey, there's a city manager. There's this something going on with this grate that it's not draining properly, or it's just draining a lot, like too much. Like, we could check it out. Like, yeah, sure. Open it up. Oh, there's a hole down here with 4 giant jars that look important.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get a team down here. Like, no. You're 10 feet below the surface and you haven't thought about like, this is something that is down there.
If anyone, we were in Barcelona in November, and the metro system there is elaborate with like multiple like levels and tons of lines. Like, it's a very like robust metro system, and anytime they do that and build new lines, they have to like do radar on like underground. Like they have to do this in Rome too. They had to do like change a metro or add a new metro line. And they were like, oh, we have to do all of this research to figure out like how close to the Colosseum this is, because like we can't, this structural integrity of like the area below the Colosseum has to stay intact. And so, yeah, you're right. Like, they're constantly doing shit like that to protect all of the history of the city. And so it doesn't,
we need to put a new red line in. Let's check out this. Oh, there's an antechamber of some kind.
I found 4 jars full of salt. Is this important?
And then the church, no, don't look at that.
No. It's part of religious worship. Yeah, that's what I always find unbelievable about these movies. Is like, there's no way that the city of Barcelona does not already know about this.
I know that's the ask, right? You gotta just be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, someone made this a very elaborate nonsense thing to be like, okay, where we're gonna put the actual thing is here, but we're gonna put it on these crosses, and you have to put it on this map. But before that, the only way you would know that is if you were inside of our antechamber with the things of salt, where we're gonna put a map, and and then you're just like, this seems a little overcomplicated. Why are you even bothering?
Yeah, it's
like, who hasn't? If all this stuff already existed, someone should already know.
Yeah,
like, put all the pieces together.
Yep.
Okay, so Uncharted released February 18th, 2022. On a budget of $120 million, it grossed $148 million in the U.S., $407 million worldwide.
Okay.
It was a hit. Rotten Tomatoes, 41% with critics, 89% with audiences.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because it does feel like a movie that just would appeal to more than just fans of Uncharted because it's just kind of like a big action-y movie with big movie stars that's like, oh, it's like this is absolutely a movie my mom would be like, let's go see that new Uncharted movie, you know? And she's like never
heard of the games or
played the
anything.
games or anything, you know?
Yeah, the opening weekend was enough for Sony to order a sequel, and as of June 2024, it's still in development. Worth it?
I mean, fans are going to continually just be like thinking to themselves, like, you know, the what if we only,
Yeah.
what if we only had gotten Nathan Fillion? You know, that's never going to go away. I think for what it was like, yeah, let's tell not an origin story, but like let's tell his first story. That way that they can age into those roles that we know from the Uncharted games.
Which they like hammered at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, and he has a mustache now, and now he's into cigars.
Yeah, so I feel like that maybe that's kind of what they were doing, but it was a little kind of heavy-handed, a little ham-fisted there. But I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, for a video game franchise that I do like, I like those games. They're really fun to play. I feel like this is kind of just pretty par for the course when it comes to like that franchise as far as expectations go and where it can go from there. Like, yeah, it feels semi-cohesive with the rest of it. So we'll see. But was it worth it? Sure.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like there wasn't really like that much trouble on the production side of it. It was mostly just pre-production and kind of getting it off the ground.
The development hell.
Right, and just development hell and people coming in and out. And it's like, yeah, that's annoying and it wastes a lot of time, but it's not like it's, you know, no one like died making this movie or anything. So I guess for the fact that it's like the movie finally got made, like it's not bad. It's not a terrible movie. Tom Holland's fine in it. Mark Wahlberg's like, whatever. It's pretty fun at points. And then it made its money back, I guess, like, yeah. But it's going to turn into a thing where we're just going to get like 7 more of these movies that are just going to get progressively probably shittier. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's where I'm just like, I guess. Because I guess from a studio perspective, it's like, yeah, it was worth it. It made its money. But like from a person existing into this day and age, it's like I don't feel like, oh my god, I'm so excited that we're gonna get more Uncharted.
Right? Yeah. And I think a part of that also too is that the fact that because it took so long to make, that maybe fans were probably thinking that like, oh, it took that long, it should be better.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of just like on this as well because it's not like this is one of my favorite franchises, and so I'm not like mad that it wasn't like the games. Like I have no like I kind of don't care either way. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. This seemed like a fine movie that was like probably fun and people probably enjoyed watching it in theaters and like whatever. It is what it is.
I'm going to say no. I don't think it was worth it at all. That movie was pretty rough in my opinion. I think none of the jokes land in it. There's so many jokes in there.
There were jokes?
Yeah.
Give us an example.
The cat thing. Like,
it's
just, all of the stuff with the cat was just like, that's a good setup for a joke, but how all the jokes pay off is really bad. But I will say this very specifically. I think that the number one problem across the board is Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, yeah.
The way he is written is actually very Sully. The lines that they are given to him are very Sully. How Mark Wahlberg plays it, he just kills it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that kind of like heightenedness to it where he's kind of being a little bit more jokey, and it just sounds just straight down the line.
Yeah.
And so all his lines just come off horribly because I do think, listen to the line, you go, oh, that is a Sully line delivered so poorly.
Oh,
and whether it could be a good joke or not, he sounds so fucking serious. Where they're talking about the percentage that he's going to get.
I assume we're 50-50, right?
50-50? On what, the gold?
Yeah.
Are you high? You know, there's been years of my life. You get 10%, and that's me being generous.
Wow.
That would be me being generous, kid. Like something like, it's just something playful.
Something
He's
is
not
missing.
playful at all.
Yeah.
And it's just, it does not work. And a lot of the humor revolves around him. And so,
and they're dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, because when I'm watching this and a joke hits, I'm not like, yeah, more so just like,
if at all.
Yeah.
It was like
Or the back
that
of,
happened.
Or the back of my mind, I'm like, that's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also like the action in it is not very good. I love the idea of the ending. The helicopters on ships.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
It's so fucking insane. It's a very video game, very Uncharted idea. And I fucking love that. But like the fight scene with all the people was just kind of, it was quick cutting constantly. You didn't really know what was going on. So all the impacts didn't really have any, it just kind of seemed like, this is such a good idea. Why don't I like this more?
Yeah. I think that's a good way to describe this movie. It's like when you look at it all together, you're like, I can see that it's well made. I can see that like Tom Holland is doing a good job. It's got great production value, but like, I just don't like it. Like it's fine, but I'm not just like, holy shit, that movie was so good. Like, or it was so fun.
It's so hand feedy. Just like,
oh yeah, the exposition,
and then how you're always hearing his brother when he's looking at a postcard that's like, "Be home soon," whatever the fuck it is, and it like literally has to say that out loud because you can't read.
You can't read, yeah.
Never thought I'd be back in church, but this one's special.
Like Netflix had a whole thing about how you need to make movies where people are looking at their phones. So they can still be following along if they're not watching. And like that is exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also like it just turned very CW where it was like the main villain is a fucking teenager.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated that. I did hate that.
Yeah.
That really
she's not intimidating at all.
No, listen, you cast Antonio Banderas as the bad guy, you fucking leave Antonio Banderas as the bad guy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. When she slit his throat, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then all these guys are just like, I guess we're gonna follow this teenager into battle now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. It was definitely weird, and like that actress, I actually like her. She was in the Sabrina series on Netflix, which is terrible, but she was actually good in it. But like, yeah, she's too young. It doesn't. I don't believe her as someone who could slit Antonio Banderas' throat and then lead his
crew.
mercenaries.
Yeah.
Like, because that was his crew, right?
Yeah.
Like, into trying to get those ships. Like, she just didn't have the gravitas to pull it off.
Yeah, there was a part of me, like, when he does slit his throat, and, like, there was a part of me was like, oh, shit, like, there's gonna be, like, a mutiny, and, like, she's gonna, like, kill a bunch of his guys, but those guys are like, yeah, okay. I'm in, yeah.
Yeah, all right, fine.
Yeah, money's money.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe that's how they were. They're like, we have no loyalty except to money, but it still is just like, why wouldn't they have then killed her? Just been like, oh, this is all free for all now. Cool, we're just gonna start our own little like henchmen's union and kill you, and then we'll take all the money. Yeah,
because she does say that. She's like, all of his resources are now ours. Like, is there not someone that's still there, just like there the landing zone? Like, hey, where's Mr. What was it?
Yeah.
Hey, where is he? Oh, we killed it. What? All right, well, all of this is shut down. Yeah, let's pack this up. You killed him? You did. Okay, yeah, and then let me grab a gun, shoot her, okay. All right.
So wait, so I'm not being paid is what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I killed him, but I'll have access to his funds. You don't have the funds now.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you sure you have access to his money? Did he sign it over to you in some kind of official document before you murdered him in cold blood? I'm gonna need to see a will.
Yeah.
Do you have his bank account information? Like, it's again another one of those things where they're just like, shh, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Because they already established and set up just how cold-hearted Antonio Banderas' character was. He had his own father killed in the car that his father gave to him as like, or no, it wasn't in the same car, but like, yeah, okay, cool, yeah, oh yeah, he's a bastard. Like, there's gonna be some like cool fight between him and Sully or whomever. But like, no, none of that.
No, I think overall the cast, because like Tom Holland felt too young, even Chloe felt a little too young.
Yeah, and I really don't like when movies have characters who are so young looking and they're so world knowledged, like they
world weary.
They're just like, and they're really good at what the fuck, like they had all these skills, and it's like you need years for this.
Yeah,
and
I'm the world's greatest assassin at 22.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. Like I don't. So like they did the MacGyver series. they rebooted MacGyver. And he was like a 20-year-old. It was like,
Yeah.
no. The guy was like in his 50s.
Yeah.
And it was because he knew all this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
He's done all these things. That the experience is the point.
Yeah.
Right.
So just having like all these characters who are all super young
Yeah.
that just have an enormous knowledge of all history.
Right. Yeah, being a MacGyver basically means that you've been around the block enough that you've fucked up enough times that you know how to just like jerry rig some shit together to get it to work.
Yeah.
Like, so unless the series is about young MacGyver who doesn't know his ass from his elbow and has like a mentor who's teaching him how to MacGyver things.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want to watch that. his mentor, it wasn't even called MacGyvering before he started doing it. It was called Johnsoning or whatever his mentor's last name was.
So like I'm okay with like Nathan Drake having all of that because that kind of informs his character. But then having like Bradigan, the bad lady, she suddenly has all this knowledge too, and you're like, when the hell are you also into history? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
But I also think one of the bigger problems of the whole movie is that I was watching this thing about how every time they tried to redo Indiana Jones in some form, that the main character has no flaws, and Indiana Jones fucks up constantly.
Yeah.
Like he's stumbling around and just having to make it up on the go because he most of the times he gets out of like big fights is complete chance.
Yeah.
So Drake is like that in the games. He's just fucking up constantly. But Tom Holland's version, he's just perfect. He knows all the history. He knows how to be a cool bartender.
Yeah.
Like, he only just has the chip on his shoulder about his brother. Other than that, he's really good at fucking everything.
Yeah.
And he seems to just make it through.
Yeah, it's like his biggest
no problem.
Yeah, his biggest mistake is just like trusting people he shouldn't trust. Like that's that's the thing that he's like learning. So again, like I guess it's hard because it seems like they're going with this is young Drake. Like he's not started his whole career with Sully, whereas the games start with him much more established into that relationship and into being a treasure hunter. And so I'm like, it's hard because on the one hand, I'm like, the cast was too young. But then I'm like, well, they're trying to do the young version of it.
And that would have been completely fine had it just been better. And again, Mark Wahlberg just kills that movie.
For sure.
For me.
There's a lot of problems with this movie. But I mean, was it a fun watch? Sure.
Yeah.
Ish. There's parts where, like, again, the aircraft sequence could have been so cool, but it just felt fine.
This movie just edges you to a good time, and then it just brings it back. With
Mark Wahlberg says something.
Okay. It's like, no, you can't have too good of a time at the movies. I think they definitely succeeded in making it a movie for just normals, for normal moviegoers. Like I said, like this is exactly a movie for my mom. Like my mom would have.
Let's go see that Uncharted movie. I like that.
It's got the Tom Holland's in it.
He's
my mom is not.
He's a cutie.
That elderly.
She's not that.
He's adorable.
He's adorable.
I love that little boy.
No, but like or my sister or whoever would have just been like, what a fun movie that was. Wasn't it so fun? I'm just like,
it told me everything. I knew exactly what was going on all the time.
Yeah.
We took my mom to see Pacific Rim, and she came out of that just like, what happened?
See, normals, they need the information spoon-fed to them.
Yeah, she was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I don't know what happened in that movie. I can't tell you a single thing about this movie. I'm like,
right.
Well, it's monsters that came through this Pacific Rim and they fight giant mechs. Like, I don't know
What's
what
a
you're.
mech?
She's like, what's a kaiju? What's a mech? I don't know what you're talking about. She came out of that movie just like super confused.
So
like, what did you show me?
Yeah, so I guess they succeeded in what they were trying to do, which is they're like, okay, we're going to take this franchise, which is like new Indiana Jones. We're going to take it from, try to appeal more to more people than just gamers and just kind of make a big, dumb, fun summer movie. And it's like, okay, great, you did that.
Did they?
Well, that's what I'm saying. For normals, not for people like you.
Yeah.
Just, it could have been cooler. It just could have been cooler.
I agree. It could have been cooler. Maybe with this next one, maybe they will do that. Maybe I don't know. Wahlberg gonna wall. That's
Why do we talk about him so much?
I know.
Marky Mark's gonna mark.
He is everywhere.
I know. It's obnoxious because he's like we talked about. He's just. How did these apes get like this?
How did these apes get like this?
How did Mark Wahlberg get like this?
Oh, Marky Mark.
So we're on Worth It. We're
Sure.
You guys are kind of no, not worth it. Let's do some follow-ups.
Follow-ups. All right. So we got a lot of really good reactions to our Starship Trooper. Well, good and bad. We got a lot of reactions. We'll put it that way.
A lot of vocal stuff, and you know what?
Starship Troopers.
I'm fine with it. There were some quite belligerent people in the comments about this stuff, and I found it very fascinating how a lot of them just were really mad about just talking about it, just mentioning it became a thing, and we were called libtards and all that kind of shit and whatever. I banned a bunch of people. It's fine, but the reactions have been just so fucking crazy. Some of them, like most of them, by and large, great. Like good, fun, nice people who get it, who understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But like one of them was so belligerent, they were mad. At first, it was kind of like they were mad just because we were bringing it up.
Like we were talking about politics.
Yeah, and it was like, but I that's not on me. I said skip this episode if it's not what you want to hear right now. I gave you the out.
Yeah.
And then they left another comment where they were like, "What are you going to start dyeing your hair purple?"
What?
What does that mean?
I don't know. I think it's a liberals dye their hair purple because they're free spirited. I don't know. Maybe it's a homophobe kind of thing. I don't know. And then his third one was you telling you two to go make your own podcast.
Yeah,
oh,
right.
Yeah,
right. Like we're gonna do that.
He was just breaking down. I don't know.
I remember commenting, I think in Discord and being like, "Joke's on you, bro. This show wouldn't exist without Ian because we're sure as hell not going to do anything about it."
Nope.
Will not.
This is what I do. He gives me the homework. I watch those movies. And I come and I sit here.
And then we sit here and bullshit about it.
Yeah, a shit show episode without Ian. It'd just be us just like.
So how was your day?
I mean,
I guess. Fine?
It was fine. Yeah, it was worth it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the podcast you'd get.
Yeah.
It's just.
So be careful what you wish for.
I got bored just watching it.
Exactly, yeah. Million subscribers.
But I do want to bring up the person who said, way to go to alienate 50% of your audience.
Yeah.
And what was your reply?
I said, I highly doubt 50% of our audience are fascists, but bye.
Yeah. So I have some numbers on this, actual. So Starship Troopers has about 10,000 views right now. And there have been 600 likes or dislikes. The ratio right now is 87% like. So 13% are angry fascists. I'll take those numbers. Those numbers. But now, almost every podcast, we average about 95% likes and dislikes. So mostly because people kind of come to it and go, "Oh, it's a podcast. It's not a video," and they dislike it, which is fine. So there's an average of 5% that happens anyway. So if we do the automatic 5% to the 87%,
it's okay. So it's only 8% of people are either straight up fascist or just brainwashed or just stupid.
Yes, very. And finishing on that thought, if you watch it on YouTube, go back to that one. If you like that episode, if you do agree with us or you are anti-fascist, put a thumbs up and we'll make sure that number goes up. Because I know there's 10,000 views, but only 600 did
thumbs.
That. Yeah, 600 thumbs. I guess it was just plug that episode is like 45 minutes longer on the Patreon. So.
Yeah, if you want to hear us talk about even more fascism.
Oh, yeah.
Where Clint got real sad.
I got so sad, you guys.
Yeah, if you don't want to see a sad Clint, like maybe don't watch it.
Yeah, but I mean it's worth the money. So go to patreon.com/itwasashitshow and you can see a sad boy Clint.
Okay, right. So these are my favorite YouTube comments.
Okay, so here are some of the YouTube comments for Starship Troopers. Skagata3467 said, Ray and Ian talking about the Wicked Witch mix-up. Ian, I'm doing my part. Ray, I'm doing my part. Clint,
I didn't do fucking shit.
Nope. Sure didn't.
Yeah.
That's pretty
When I
good.
read that, I just like burst out laughing.
I know,
That was
it
so
was so
fucking
good.
funny.
Well, I don't get the cuts for review. I wait just like you all who are watching this now. Like I don't see the cut before it's released. I see the release. Oh, I mean, even if you did, I'd still be like, yeah, East. Yeah, that's good. Well done.
That's what I'm saying. Like none of us noticed
I was
it.
involved.
I did something.
All right, Prime27 said, loving the new format. I could tell the group had good chemistry from listening, but seeing you all interact is even more charming. Thanks for the good content. I always look forward to the next one.
Aw, yeah. Hopefully this one was good. The chemistry that we all have.
The chemistry just keeps getting better.
Ian's just don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
On Spotify, Mark L said, shit show is saving my life at the minute. I've easily gotten through every podcast and deep dive 2 to 3 times over, and it makes it so much easier to black out the world, especially in the misery that is the UK. You guys are heroes.
Oh.
First of all, Mark, we totally understand you. It's also pretty miserable over here.
Yeah.
Yes. So happy to
Glad we could
provide
help.
some distraction for a minute.
100%.
All right. And then on Instagram, Aaron wrote us and said, total fanboy geekgasm, but just wanted to say the level of effort, the detail, the production you all put into this is just insane. Major kudos to you, team. Starship Troopers just knocked it out of the park. And I'll shut up from here.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.
Hey everyone, the following was recorded before the unfortunate news of Val Kilmer's passing. R.I.P. legend. You'll always be our Nick Rivers, Mad Mardigan, Gay Perry, and of course, our Huckleberry.
We also have, I keep forgetting to do this, the most important piece of follow-up.
Right.
Speaking of Instagram, so a while ago, we got a message from an account called Shoe Fury. This was after our Tombstone episode. And this person was like, told a story that was hysterical about how they drew some art of Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday, tweeted it at Val Kilmer, and Val Kilmer like wrote a scathing like comment about how bad it was.
Oh, wow.
And so I just responded back and was like, well, I think your card is incredible and like keep on keeping on, whatever. Anyway, so we were just kind of writing back and forth, and this person wanted our address to send us something.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to let Clint do the honors here.
So
So we do have a PO box now. This is something we've been trying to work out for a while because they've been wanting to send this to us, and I was like, sorry, we're not a real business. We don't have a PO box. We're just like a bunch of people in a basement. But we recently got a PO box. So if you would like to send us something, you can email us. We will send you the address. If you're in our Discord, hit us up. We can send you the address. But anyway, so this is from
Shoe Fury.
Shoe Fury.
Okay. Hey y'all, truly love the content and glad to have stumbled upon it. So yeah, I went overboard on the remastered Doc Holliday card that Val Kilmer disliked, LOL. The note on the inside is inspired by accounts of his last days and last known words. This is funny. J.H. aka John Henry Holliday, and signature then taken from Wiki. Enjoy, glad to add to Clint's closet. Open this side. Okay. All right, so here is the card. That's amazing.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah, I mean, look. This is fantastic.
It's so good. What is it? What does the card say inside?
Clint, my dearest of friends, the same poorly dispositioned nurse has once again denied me a pull of whiskey. Oh, I get it. So it's like Doc Holliday is writing me.
You.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course.
And although consumption has aptly taken hold, I have come to notice my feet are quite bare and warm. A rarity for those of us with proclivity for adventure. This is funny. Doc Holliday. That's amazing. That is fantastic.
So fucking good.
That needs to stay here. That needs to stay up
we
here.
can put
Yeah.
it back up,
Yeah.
over in here.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much, Dave. And yeah, if you want to go check out his work, go find him Shoe Fury. So SHOE_Fury, FURY on Instagram. He does incredible sneaker designs, like hand crafted sneakers. It's super cool stuff. So anyway, go check out Shoe Fury.
Absolutely.
And we do have a few new meddling executives that have joined the board that we need to tell flattering lies about. So our first patron that we have to shout out is Tommy M.
Tommy M is a labyrinth designer.
Whoa.
Like hedge mazes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, the one, like, he got inspired by The Shining, right? With the hedge mazes in The Shining. And he's like, you know, I could do that. In fact, I think I can do that better. So if you find his work, it's all just labyrinthian twists and turns and secret passages and, you know, minotaurs at the center of it.
But you have to go through that to find his work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, this is, you want to know what I got? You got to come find it.
You gotta be good enough to find him to be able to hire him.
Yeah.
He's just like inside like the middle of the maze, just on a throne, just waiting for you.
Just like the Knight Templar.
You've made it.
Yeah.
How may I be of service?
Can you create a labyrinth?
I'm good at that.
How long did it take you to solve?
What do you think, based on your experience?
Minotaur, schedule.
This Minotaur with a tie. Yes, sir.
So he not only designs labyrinths, but he also designs and breeds and raises minotaurs.
He's a minotaur breeder.
Incredible.
Yep.
And his company is called Hedge Ya Bets. So
I'm gonna put this Minotaur. Put this money into the hedge fund.
The hedge fund.
Yes, sir.
All right. So thank you again, Tommy. Our next patron is Chrisu.
Chrisu, who is a martial artist with yo-yos.
Oh.
Hot damn.
Yeah. Yep.
Can you imagine just whipping it out?
I call this around the world.
Just when you think you're just having fun, it just hits you with it.
Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they use them as a distraction. Just like, oh, here's the cradle. Then so the person's like, oh, wow, he kicks him in the nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I mean, originally the yo-yo was not a toy, but an actual weapon.
Oh.
Yeah, there's some real trivia there for you.
Interesting.
Wait, are you improving or are you serious right now?
I'm serious.
I did not know this.
Yeah, no, that is
Wait,
real.
what?
Okay, I'm taking off my improv hat, putting on my serious history hat. No, it's true. The yo-yo was originally designed as a weapon, like for real.
Oh,
Yeah.
What was it called?
I don't know
The ya-ya?
Yeah. The you.
Yeah. Like that.
So now
that's the sound you'd make when you would hit
exactly.
people with
Yeah. So now I'll take off my serious hat, put back on my improv hat. So we all know.
Oh, good, because we wouldn't have been able to tell.
What'd you get here?
I've been here the whole time.
Improv, Clint.
Yep.
What are you doing
Improv,
here?
Clint. That's serious, Clint. Yeah, that guy's not a thing. But yeah, exactly. He's got, and not just on his hands too, or not just on their hands, but on their toes as well. So it's like
Toyos?
Toyos.
Oh my god!
Whipping out those Toyos, the finger yos.
This is a totally different version of walking the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how they get around.
That's how they get around. Yeah. That's why they're so effective and you're able to defeat your opponents, because they're not going to expect a yo-yo or a toyo. And also that entrance being carried in by yo, like you're caught off guard and then you're just like yo-yo to the temple and then you're dead.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's an incredible piece of gossip. Glad to know we have a yo-yo master, a toyo yo-yo master on our team.
Toyo yo-yo.
Yeah, if we ever need, your services, Chrisu, we will call you.
Yep.
All right. Next patron we have is David D.
David D. Has built their fortune with cryptocurrency, but not in the way that you think, right?
Yeah,
so
I'm glaring now.
Yeah, I think crypto, but it's actually cryptid. So he's
I see.
It's like the Loch Ness Monster money.
Yeah.
The Jersey Devil coin.
I see.
Yeah.
Cryptid currency.
Currency.
Okay.
But they're not. But it's not digital. It's physical coins with pictures of Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. That's the most that's the highest value coin.
Okay.
And then you have like the Jersey Devil. That's kind of like your nickel.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And
what about like Sasquatch or Yeti?
That's going to be like in a 50-cent piece.
Okay, I see.
But like the Chupacabra.
I was going to say that's a peso.
That's like a peso.
It's a peso. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but what does one do with cryptid currency? How can it be spent?
It can be spent at the locations of where they're found. So the Loch Ness Monster coin is only available and only valid at Loch Ness. Yeah.
And you just toss it
toss
into the lake. Yeah. And maybe you'll get something.
Oh, you toss it into the lake and then you look at your crypto wallet and then you have some crypto. It's a cryptid to crypto conversion.
Exactly. And the cryptids, the actual creatures, are the ones that are doing the conversion.
Right. And that's why like when you talk about crypto, it's like, is it real? And only like maybe half of the people believe in it because it's the same thing as cryptids.
Yeah, exactly.
Where some people are just like, I totally saw Sasquatch, bro. And then the rest of us are like, but did you? And then people are like,
my crypto money proves it.
Yeah. And people are like, I'm totally a crypto millionaire. And we're like, but are you?
I've never seen this before.
This is the thing. They just deal in like uncertainty. Is it real? Is it not real? Who knows?
Who knows? So, yep.
Anyway, David D, thank you very much for your cryptid currency. We're happy to have it.
Yep.
Or not. I don't know. Is it real? It's not for us to say.
Yeah. What's the real evidence? Hard evidence of this money.
Mythical money.
Yep.
Mythical money. I love it. Mythical moolah. And last we have Stephen B.
Stephen is a blind date expert.
Oh.
So he sets up. He's a matchmaker for blind dates.
Does he get to see the other dates, or is he also blind?
No,
It's really awkward because you just stand there and he just goes like this, and then he like matches you based on your face shape. You know?
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So
he's
before,
like,
he's like, this jawline would kiss well to this other lady.
Yeah.
Everything's on feel with this guy. Yeah. So
that gets real awkward because he has to get gropey in different areas to determine. Right.
Yeah, the compatibility.
But it's all above the board.
Yeah. I mean, they sign on for this, right?
Yeah,
This
it's
is all part.
They know.
Yeah,
they know.
It's all consensual. But then he'll meet the individuals. It's in a dark room. He's got a blindfold on for extra blindness, and then he'll feel their face, and then that person leaves the room, and the next person comes in. Like, so he has a whole day of this.
Yeah.
Right. Just matching people.
Just feeling
people up,
all by touch, all by feel.
Yeah. People might say, well, but what about like our interests and like comment, like, don't you want to know about us as a person? And he's like, no, that's too much information. I can match you just by facial feel, which is like pretty revolutionary.
Yeah, he has 100% success rate.
Yeah. Every single person he has matched on a blind date has been coupled.
That's what he does for people.
I mean, they say love is blind, right?
Love is blind, but it is very touchy. So we're getting the blind date bucks.
Love it.
Bucks.
I don't know.
The blind date dinero
works for everything.
Dinero?
The date dinero.
Yeah.
De Niro's date dinero.
The Dayton dollars.
Dayton dollars.
Dayton
I like Dayton
dollars.
dollars.
There you go.
All right, we getting those Dayton dollars from Stephen B. So thank you very much for being a meddling executive.
Yep. And if you want us to tell flattering lies about you, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/itwasashitshow, and we will tell some flattering lies about you.
And Ian mentioned this on the last episode, but April's our 5th anniversary of doing this show /podcast. So we're going to have a special It Was a Shit Show episode.
Patreon exclusive.
Yep. So if you're interested in that, check it out.
It's going to be a crazy one, y'all.
Thank you so much for listening. It Was a Shit Show is researched and produced by me, Ian Jench. Sound editing and mix by Ray Reynolds. Our theme music is by Ryan K. Hudson. If you're enjoying the show, leave us a review on your preferred podcast player. It does help spread the word. Or you can support us on Patreon and get access to exclusive content and longer versions of the podcast. Find us on social media at It Was a Shit Show, but shit without the I. And if you haven't already, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel.